Goodfellas. Thursday, November 2nd, 2023, die Süddeutsche Zeitung publishes an article with the following title: Wir machen ein paar Dinge anders als früher, which means we're doing things differently now. And the big announcement of this article is that 13 years after the last acquisition made by Faber-Castell, the family-owned company Faber-Castell has now acquired a company in the Schwarzwald, Robert E. Huber. You've heard this name on my channel already because Robert E. Huber is the company that also produces and owns Otto Hutt, which means that Faber-Castell and Graf von Faber-Castell have acquired the manufacturer Robert E. Huber and the brand Otto Hutt. You can imagine how shocked I was when I read this interview. I literally had goosebumps. And you might ask yourself, but Samuel, you did not knew anything about it. No, I did not knew anything about it. Usually I get to hear a bit what's happening. Sometimes I get even informed proactively. Sometimes I even get asked what I think about a certain move. In this case, I had no idea. The only thing I knew was the fact that the owner of the company were very hard to reach, which I found very strange because I have a very close relationship to Marco Frey and to Nicole Klingel. And around 2 months ago, someone of Faber-Castell came and just told me, I don't know, but there's gonna be a news in around 3 weeks and we don't know what it is about. And there I said, they're going to buy Robert E. Huber. Bam, 2nd of November, Faber-Castell has acquired Robert E. Huber. Now, all of you that follow the channel, you know how much I love Otto Hutt. You know that I had the honor of being the, let's say, the anchorman for the news that were released in 2022. I also had the chance to pretty much present the release of the Design 08 together with Marco Frey and with Mark Brown. And now, this incredible news. And now, the big question is, what kind of impact will this have? Let's go through 3 things. What does this acquisition mean in general? What impact will this potentially have on Graf von Faber-Castell and on Faber-Castell? What impact it will have on Otto Hutt? And my take on it. What do I think about it? And let's start with number 1. What does it mean? So yes, like I just mentioned, it does mean that now Robert E. Huber, which is one of the most important manufacturers of high-end writing instruments, and Otto Hutt are now part of the Faber-Castell company. So it's now owned by Faber-Castell. It looks like Marco Frey and Nicole Klingel will remain in the management of the company because the company obviously has a certain type of know-how. They know exactly all the operation, the processes, the people that work inside the company. However, I guess that now all decisions about investment, about enlargements of the company, even maybe about the way how they're gonna run the operations will probably be led by Faber-Castell. Now, point 2 and 3 are very important, so listen carefully, and while you listen, subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you're liking this content so far. What does this acquisition mean for Graf von Faber-Castell and for Faber-Castell? So you might know it or not, but Robert E. Huber has been a very important supplier of both Faber-Castell and Graf von Faber-Castell. So in my eyes, this now means that Faber-Castell and Graf von Faber-Castell will have a much bigger know-how, way more knowledge, way more also flexibility when it comes to the creation, to the research and development of new writing instruments for their collection. So I hope and I predict that in the next 24 months, we'll see quite a few very cool novelties coming out. The last 2 years, we haven't seen that much coming out from Graf von Faber-Castell, beside obviously the beautiful pen of the years that they have done. But we hope now, next to the pen of the year, to also see a dynamic enlargement of the collection when it comes to the guillage, when it comes even to the wooden one, and maybe some more special and limited edition throughout the year. There is a bit of space there for Graf von Faber-Castell to launch some very exciting things. So actually, I have to tell you that I'm very much looking forward to this. I could also imagine that probably with the financial means of Faber-Castell, there is a good chance that they will maybe enlarge the manufacturing facility. There is still space there where Robert E. Huber is located. So who knows, maybe they're even going to invest into a nib production facility. I have zero news, guys. I have zero information. These are all thoughts that I'm making, and those are probably all steps that I would be taking if I was personally in their position. I'm not, but I think that this could be some very interesting steps that Faber-Castell will be making. Let's see what the future will actually hold. Probably one of the most important questions is, what impact will it have on Otto Hutt? What I've heard until now is that everything will remain the same. The only thing that maybe could change, I can imagine, when such an acquisition happens, is the distribution, since Graf von Faber-Castell and Faber-Castell already have a very important worldwide distribution, so they might take Otto Hutt under their arm and help the brand to develop even further. And I think that if Faber-Castell and Graf von Faber-Castell understand branding and understand the importance of Otto Hutt as a brand in the last 2 years, and also the incredible collections that they have, such as the Design 08, the Design C, the Design 07, that there is a great potential of launching even more exciting designs that could complement the incredible craftsmanship that you can find on the Design 08 and on Design C, and probably help Otto Hutt to be even more well established than what they are right now, and probably to even grow faster. So I really hope that it's going to go into that direction. I'm confident that it will go into that direction, and that Otto Hutt will be an added value into the portfolio of fine writing instruments for Faber-Castell and Graf von Faber-Castell. Now, number 4, my opinion on this news. And I have to be completely honest. There are two things that I truly feel when I think about this news. One is, it's incredible that the first acquisition made by Faber-Castell has been made in the fine writing instrument line. So it also shows how much potential there is in this industry. That's a thing that we've been saying and pushing for the last 5 years. So it also shows that we are probably totally into the right direction. Number 2 that I also feel is, I hope that all decisions that are being made now with Robert T. Huber and with Otto Hutt will go into a certain direction. I'm obviously now talking as an aficionado, as a collector, as a professional of this industry. It's important that we will see a growth from both brands, Graf von Faber-Castell and Otto Hutt. But I have to tell you that I'm confident that if they did this step, if they understood and made the step of acquiring such an important manufacturing facility such as Robert T. Huber, that probably the plans and strategies are into growing the segment of fine writing instruments. And you know that we personally think that this is where the big potential is when it comes to handwriting, way more than the cheaper lines. Because now that writing isn't that necessary anymore because of all the digital devices that we have, the emotion around handwriting becomes more important. And the emotion comes with storytelling, with beautiful and well-crafted items, with materials, with the creative ideas that are behind the product. Obviously, I'm 100% sure that if they decided to make such an important step, the CEO of Faber-Castell, Stefan Leitz, has had some great plan and strategies to implement in order to make sure that this is going to be a great success. I have the feeling that this is going into the direction that we see in other more mature industries, where we have some groups that have specific know-hows, that have a specific approach, that have a specific distribution, and adding another brand and the manufacturing facility obviously, adds up to the knowledge and the know-how of the brand, and therefore gives to the brand way more possibilities of growing. And where there is 2 or 3 brands, there is way more potential than where there is just one brand. Have you ever realized that where there is a McDonald's, there probably also is a Burger King, and maybe there is like a Taco Bell? Because people are not going to think if they're going to go at McDonald's or not, but they're going to decide, are we going to McDonald's, to Burger King, or to Taco Bell? So I think that this applies in terms of marketing and of psychology also to the luxury industry. That can be also shown on the amazing streets all over the world where you have all these incredible boutiques. So to end this up, I'd like to compliment Faber-Castell, a 260 years old family-owned company, for taking such a huge step. Also compliment the family Frey and Klingel for all the incredible work they have done until now, and I'm sure that we'll hear all these names in the future and that they will have an incredible relevance into the growth of the world of fine writing instruments. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section, and don't forget that together we are changing the game.